Io penso che ci sia un problema di compatibilità tra la cultura islamica o certa interpretazione della cultura islamica e i diritti e i valori della nostra civiltà.
Italy's shocking ban on Muslim prayer. There are more than 2.3 million Muslims in Italy, 4.9% of the total population. Yet, a recent decision by a far-right mayor to ban public Muslim prayers has ignited a fierce debate, raising a critical question: is religious freedom threatened in today's democracies in Europe? The prohibition of Muslims praying in one town in Italy has become a hot topic of discussion in the country, where protesters were angry at the move, stating that they have rights as citizens of the country, yet they are treated this way just because they are Muslims. The latter not only affects Muslim communities by putting pressure on them, but also raises doubts about Italy's adherence to democratic principles. These questions were considered while analyzing the practice of ban in relation to religious freedom in Italy. To what extent can political leaders restrict religious practices under the pretext of secularism? At a time when Europe boasts of its plurality, this situation compels us to assess the role and mechanisms of state power alongside that of individual ethnic minorities. The mayor of the small Italian town of Monfalcone, who was affiliated to the far right, unleashed significant controversy when he banned prayers in public places for Muslims. This has therefore led to debate all over the country, focusing on religious liberty as opposed to party politics. The ban is effective at the same time as Italy experiences increasing tendencies of totalitarianism of political parties, particularly the far right. Anna Maria Sisint, the mayor of Monfalcone, also backed the ban and expressed her concern in the preservation of Italian identity to avoid public tumult. She further argued that public prayers caused straining of relations within the society, for which she had to ensure that there was law and order to be followed in the society. Sisint has also had concerns of the Islamization of the area. While Islam is not one of the 13 recognized religions in Italy, however, the ban has been received with a lot of criticism from the communities, as especially the Muslims of Italy, which is a large number in the affected zone. The decision limits their freedom of practicing their religion, and this has caused lots of concern among the Muslims who view this decision as encroachment on their freedom. Mayor Anna Maria Sisint in August 2023 said that women shall not wear burkinis or any other outfit while sunbathing at the beach. Sisint, who was a member of the anti-migrant Northern League Party, labeled them as people who want to return to the Middle Ages. Nonetheless, similar measures have been met with criticism of various liberal organizations, human rights and religious groups who view the act as a clear infringement of the freedom of worship enshrined in the Italian constitution. This adds to why it is pertinent to look at the history that Italy has with religious practices in an effort to fully grasp the prospective repercussions of this ban. Like any liberal state, Italy tries to be secular, but given that it's home to the Vatican and has a rich Catholic heritage, it struggles with the conflict between its own legal system and religion. While the country affirms freedom of worship in its constitution, there has always been controversy concerning the laws governing worship and religious institutions, especially for other faiths apart from Christianity. The people defending the mayor's decision suggest that prayers and other forms of religious activities are an inconvenience to Italian identity, social security, and integration. For them, the protection of Italian identity in the light of change and increase in the level of immigration is very important. This has made the country open the immigration door for people from other countries due to the fact that its birth rates were also low, hence the need for a larger workforce. However, opponents of this ban argue that this is a violation of fundamental rights, arguing that this move is discriminatory especially to Muslims, and is a negation of the spirit of democracy and tolerance characteristic of modern-day democracies. The ban has thus turned into a symbol in the passionate European discussion on how much secularism should dominate religious liberty, and whether political executives have the right to strip off these liberties at the altar of national unity. Leaders of different political parties also joined the debate, spreading their suggestions concerning the ban. Various progressive groups and human rights organizations condemned the move, saying that it was discriminatory to the basic human rights. At the same time, some of the right-wing supporters supported the actions of the mayor, stating that they are important to maintain order and national characteristics. Anna Maria Sisint, the mayor of Monfalcone, came up with a number of rationales, whereby she justified the ban of Muslim prayers in public places. Pleading her case, the Hague considered the primary argument of the ban imperative to preserve security and order in the population of the town. Sisson claimed that key public prayer meetings, especially those during the Ramadan period, was likely to cause interruption of day-to-day activities and could also present an element of danger. She feared that such corporate might cause tension between various groups that will lead to conflict, resulting in social unrest. The mayor also identified the issue of controlling the public spaces as a major problem. She said that though permitting religious, especially large assemblies, the public domain would effectively transform into religious domain, something that she envisioned could lead to exclusion of the others. Sisson said by prohibiting prayers in public places, she was protecting the places for all people of Italy, irrespective of their religion, so that no one will feel any kind of pressure from any other person. However, these justifications cannot be separated from the broader context of the rise of far-right politics in Italy and across Europe. In recent years, far-right movements have gained significant momentum, fueled by fears of immigration, concerns over national identity, and anxieties surrounding Islam. Parties like Italy's Lega Nord and movements such as Brothers of Italy have capitalized on these sentiments, often farming Muslim communities as a threat to the social order and Italian heritage. Di Stefano, the mayor of Sesto San Giovanni, belongs to this political landscape, and his decision to ban Muslim prayers reflects the growing influence of these far-right ideologies. The far-right focus on issues like national identity and cultural purity has led to policies that disproportionately target religious minorities, especially Muslims. These movements often position themselves as defenders of Western values against what they perceive as an encroaching Islamic presence. In Italy, this has resulted in increased restrictions on Muslim religious practices, including the construction of mosques, the wearing of hijabs in public spaces, and now, public prayers. One of the recent examples of the restriction of Muslims' right to pray freely is the recent ban on Muslim prayers in Monfalcone, Italy. Italy's constitution has given citizens a freedom of religion, and as such, the ban directly negates this freedom with arguments concerning the illegality of prescribing public prayers can therefore be made. Local authorities, led by a far-right mayor, support the move, saying it is for order and preserving the cultural heritage, but the move is likely to lead to legal confrontations. Opponents state that the ban infringes national legal legislation, as well as international human rights conventions that Italy, as its signatory, is obliged to follow, extending the freedom of religion. This meant that Muslims in Monfalcone have been the hardest hit by the ban, especially during occasions like the fasting periods of Ramadan, namely one of the most important components of Islamic practice. Please express your opinions on the ban and its effects on religious liberty in Italy and other European countries in the comments. My question now is, what measures should be taken to safeguard the rights of all community groups? Click to watch our next video, focused on Muslims in Europe. May Allah make it easy for all of our brothers and sisters to continue their worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.